All right, what's up, everyone? Good morning from Sweden, and welcome to today's live stream. I had a power cut here at home, so I had to restart the PC and everything just right before going live. So, apologize for the slight delay. Today, we're going to be looking at the crypto and the forex market. I'm just going to do my regular market scan and give you guys some thoughts and insight on what I'm watching today. Is the audio working? Everything's working. All right, let's go. All right, we got Meg from Netherlands. Welcome, guys. We got Hans or Hans, not sure. In Sweden, we say Hans, but your last name is probably Hans. I don't know. I don't know, but you're very, very welcome. All right. So, like I said, I had a power cut. Everything's had all the tabs open. Everything's gone. So let's, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna open up a couple of new, get back to my regular, tabs layout here in the browser, and I can quickly show you guys how I have all of this set up, right? So you can see here I have a TradingView Premium, which lets me have, I think, unlimited amount of chart layouts. And the way I have structured this is I have one layout which I call used clean, which is usually just a chart with price action, right? no drawings, and I have two shots for the legacy markets, which is basically forex, indices, commodities, that kind of stuff. And I have legacy swings and legacy scalps, right? Because I want to differentiate between because when I'm scalping, I'm not going to be looking at the same trend lines in the same areas that I have on the swing chart, right? So let's start with open up the legacy swings, because that's one we're going to be focusing on today. And then the next one is going to be crypto swings, right? So you have one short layout for the crypto market and one layout for the legacy market, and then I also have I use the clean one for Bitcoin. So this is usually how I have it set up. So I have three tabs open at all times, right? I have the crypto swings here. I have the Bitcoin chart in the middle, and then I have the legacy swings here to the right. And if I want to be if I'm going to be scalping, I'm going to be opening up the crypto scalp layout and the legacy scalp layout as well. And I'm going to be let's say I'm scalping the forex market, right? So I'm going to have one layout looking at the higher time frames and one layout looking at the lower time frames, like this. So I can always go back and forth and kind of look at the high time frame levels instead of switching time frames. I think it's much easier to switch tabs instead of going back and forth between time frames. I think that's just better, makes it easier for me. And then of course in the middle I have this clean shot for Bitcoin, because whatever I do, I always want to have one window with Bitcoin up, because if I'm scanning the altcoin market and that kind of stuff, I always need to look at what Bitcoin is doing. So let's start off by looking at Bitcoin here to see if we can find anything interesting. So let's start with the daily here. And first thing that comes to mind looking at the daily, obviously we see, and yesterday we had Sweden's national day, or whatever it's called in English. So I didn't had my day off, didn't really do any trading, no market, scans or anything like that. So this is the first time looking at the market since Thursday, I believe, perhaps maybe Friday. Maybe I think I had a live stream on Friday, so probably Friday. So yeah, this is the first time, and when I'll just share whatever thoughts I have here that kind of pops into mind. So first of all, not much is going on for Bitcoin, right? Not much is going on for Bitcoin other than the fact that we are still inside this range right here. Obviously, these two drops right here. One thing I kind of notice here when looking at this chart is the fact that the drops seem more. There seems to be more selling pressure drops, the momentum to the downside seems to be a little bit more aggressive than the moves to the upside, which is not surprising considering the fact that we're in an overall downtrend, right? That's usually what you get. You're in an overall downtrend. The rallies are for shorting unless you have that break in market structure, and we haven't really seen any break in market structure. We had our first sign of a potential break in market structure right here that kind of failed when we failed to have that push right here, because we could have created a higher high, and that would have been the first higher low of that sequence of higher highs and higher lows. But we failed that when we dropped lower here, and of course now the second time around we failed to regain these highs as well. So what we need to do here is, like, we need to remember that we're still in a range, right? So it's very let's not make it too complicated here. We're in a range here, and right now we're trading around the middle of the range for Bitcoin, right? So unless and I also like the fact that the longer we stay inside this range, the lower the daily 50 is going to come. Like the closer the daily 50 EMA is going to come to the highs of this range. So the highs of this range is around 32,000, and if the daily 50 EMA can come down here, and we would then have let's say we have a break out of this range. Let's say we break out of this range and reclaim the daily 50. That would be really nice, right? That would be a break in market structure, and that would also mean that Bitcoin is reclaiming the daily 50 EMA. So that would then tick all the boxes for me to start looking for long. So the longer we would trade here, the better, I would say, if we break to the upside. Of course, the longer we trade here, then we break down. This is obviously adds a lot of strength to the bearish case. So it all depends on if we're going to break range lows or range highs first. And I don't mean just break. I don't mean just price peaking below or above the range highs or lows. I mean a proper breakout, like a daily open and close above, like a confirmed breakout, and preferably also like a break and retest of the range lows or range highs. That's what we're looking for to really confirm a direction here on Bitcoin. So yeah, we're in the range, not much happening. Let's look at some altcoins here. I remember in our last live stream we looked at Cardano here as an example of a potential trade. I did not take this trade. I also recommended you guys not to take this trade because of the way Bitcoin was looking. We also talked about how Cardano had some fundamental stuff going on, and I said, it doesn't really matter. Like, basically what I said, it doesn't really matter for a swing trade, right? Because the danger with swing trading is the fact that the longer you stay in the trade, the higher the chances are that something's gonna go wrong, right? So if you were trading Cardano here based on the fundamentals, I would then look for a potential scalp. But it's just, you can see, looking at the general altcoin market, it's quite choppy, right? It's a lot of choppiness here, which is obviously because of Bitcoin, right? So we can just go look at what I like to do here is I have a list here of Binance, USDT, and FTX perps. So it's the futures market on the USDT altcoin future markets on Binance, combined with the perpetual futures altcoin market on FTX. So what I like to do from time to time is I select this list, right? So we have about 250 pairs on this list right here. And what I like to do is I like to look at the daily time frame, and I add the daily 20 and 50 EMA. And what I do then is I'm getting some alerts here. Let's see, what's the alert? The alert is, all right, never mind. So what I do then is I start at the top and I press space rather quickly. And the idea is not to look at individual coins. I don't care about the individual coins. I only care about what's the trend on the general altcoin market, and is there any relative strength here, right? So let's just start. kind of like you try to do this as quickly as possible, because you'll see that most of these, they look the same, right? They all pretty much look the same. What would be special is if we have a chart that kind of does something like this, right? And perhaps trading up here with a higher high and higher low and a break in market structure and a reclaim of the daily moving averages. Now that would kind of catch my attention, right? But at this point, I'm not really seeing anything like that. It's rather boring, you know. And I do think that most of my good trades on altcoins, they're longs, right? And I do, this one is rather interesting, but what I don't like about this is like this daily structure right here. I want the trends to be clean and clear, but there's something here, right? So let's just add that to the green list. And also we're going to clean up this green list, and we're going to remove everything here because that's an old scan. Let's go back to this list. We got balls somewhere here, right? Nope. Let's just start here, bell. And we're trying to get a general overview of the markets right here. And yeah, not much going on. I'm not going to do the whole list. I'm just going to show you how quick you can actually scan the markets to get a feeling for what's going on and what the trend is and all that kind of stuff, if you know exactly what you're looking for. So it's very important if you're a new trader, the perspective you should have when you're creating a system, because the goal should always be to create a system. You should not be in this market or even think about starting to trade without having a system based on specific rules of entry, stop loss, and take profit. I had a webinar a couple of days back, perhaps on Friday, where I talked about, not Friday, I can't remember, where I talked about creating a system, right? And we talked about exactly that, right? What type of rules do you need to have in the system, and you need to backtest everything, right? And that should be your number one focus, right? So when you get into this market, you're gonna think it's a way to get rich quick, right? And you're gonna fail miserably, you're gonna lose a lot of money, and you're then gonna start realizing that it's not as easy as I thought, right? So you're gonna start learning TA, right? And you learn TA, and you learn everything you know about TA, and you take that knowledge and you combine it, and you test ideas, and you develop a system, right? And the goal with that system should be simplicity, right? That should be the general idea of a trading system, should be simplicity, because I honestly really think that the key to being a successful trader lies in the simple things and the simplicity of your system. So if you're able to create a system that gives you very clear ideas on what to look for, it's going to be much easier for you to find a setup. Because when you're in the markets, your job is not to create setups, right? You're never going to be able to create a setup out of thin air because you have knowledge of TA. Your job as a trader is to observe and listen to what the market is whatever the market wants to tell you, right? And is telling you. And you should then receive setups from the market. The market is going to give you setups. And when you reach a point where you have really reached that point where you can, trade comfortably with confidence as a professional trader, there comes a moment or a point where you're able to sit down at your desk, look at the screens, and it's going to be as easy as just walking over. A bag of money is going to appear at the corner of your room, and you're just going to walk over to that bag of money, take it, and that's it. That's basically what you're supposed to be doing. You're just supposed to be observing and waiting, and be patient and disciplined, and wait. It's just a lot of waiting. And you're going to wait for that setup that you have identified as your edge. You're going to wait for that setup to appear, and then you take that setup, right? And that's basically you're just taking money out of the market at your own will. And for that to be possible, you need to have a simple and an easy to understand system. right? Because otherwise, it wouldn't be possible for me to do a scan of 250 altcoins in a matter of, I don't know, like 10 minutes, right? Because if I had a super advanced system where I had to like go into the lower time frames and add all kind of indicators and all that kind of stuff just during the scanning, it would take me too long to scan the markets. I would miss out on opportunities, and it's just better to keep it as simple as possible. Right, that's just a quick scan of the altcoin market. Let's look at a couple of more. So yeah, it's quite evident that there's very few altcoins, if any, that is in a bullish market structure. This is a bear market, obviously, and Bitcoin is ranging, which means it's going to be a very hard time looking for longs on altcoins, especially as a swing trader. Now, a scalper or range trader, that's a whole another thing. But as a trend following swing trader like me, it's just not going to be easy, right? So we need to make some type of scenarios here, right? We need to have a bullish scenario and a bearish scenario. So when should I be looking for trades on altcoins? Well, I'm going to add a alert here on Bitcoin, and I'm going to say this alert is going to say approaching range highs. And we're going to have one down here which says approaching range lows. And why I have these two alerts right here is because whatever happens in between these two levels, I do not care. I don't care. There's not going to be a trade for me in the crypto market if Bitcoin just keeps on moving like this. I don't care. So unless those alert goes off, I don't care about the altcoin market or crypto in general. So that brings us over to the Forex market there, where there might be some more opportunities. I'm going to show you a failed trade. I entered and exit a couple of like a week ago or two. So let's use the replay function here. I'm going to kind of walk you through my general trade plan for this, right? So I remember scanning the markets. This is Euro GBP, and for you crypto traders, you're looking at this and you're like, this is boring. I don't care about Forex. But listen, Forex and crypto, like the system I use to trade Forex is exactly the same system I use in the crypto market. So whatever setups I show you in the Forex market, you can use the same principles and the same techniques and everything exactly the same in the crypto market. So these, educational examples, you could just straight up copy that into crypto market and still make money trading the system. So when I switch over to the Forex market, you're not supposed to be leaving the stream if you're only interested in crypto, because this is really where some of the cleanest setups using my system is found. Anyway, so I'm scanning the markets, right? And let's go to the daily here. We're watching this, and I'm like, look at this. I like this. It's downtrend, right? It's trend obviously going down. Now we enter some type of range here. We have a strong breakout here above that range. We create a higher high, and if we break this level to the upside again, we could potentially see a new trend forming here, right? So we have a downtrend, range, and a breakout and an uptrend. That is the trend that I would like to be in, right? And if you look at the higher, like very high time frame, like we do have a major level up here, but that's a huge move. I mean, I'm not going to be staying in this for a 5% move. A 5% move in the Forex market is insane, right? But what I do like is this level right here. That kind of makes a little bit more sense, because if you look at the price movement, the historic price movement of this chart, like a secondary trend within a bigger primary trend could easily be a 2% move. Absolutely, a 2% move makes sense, and it's a major level here. And what I like about this as well, and you'll see this later when we have the breakout, is it's going to coincide, or it's going to be in perfect conflict with the minus 0.618, which is why my last take profit target. That's also why I like this setup in particular. Why I'm also a bit pissed that I exited this too early. So we scan the markets, and we have identified this on the high time frames right now. We have also identified on the 4 hour, we have identified a this is one move to the upside, one down move, one up, one down move, and we're expecting another up move, right? And what I like about this one is the double bottom, right? And a clear level right here. You can see a very clear resistance level right here. So if we do break out here, that would be a great level to find an entry. So I have an alert right here, right? Right here at 0.85, something like that. I have an alert, right? So we have a breakout, right? A very clean breakout, looks very nice, right? It's a very good breakout right here. So now we have a setup, right? We have a setup right here. Now what I'm thinking is, so what I've done here is I put the fibs from the low to the high of that breakout move, and we see the 50 and the 620 in perfect complement with the breakout area. That's the type of complements we want to see, right? And then you see that high time frame level right up here, right above the minus 0.618, which is the last take profit, right? So this would then be, TP1, TP2, and TP3. Decent setup. Now, if you want to, like, where would we enter? I think, if play, if you were gonna play it safe, you wouldn't have it above that zone. But if, like, it really does make sense to have an entry somewhere around this area. Stop loss would probably be below the daily 20, below the reload zone. I mean, it's already a 2.3 R up to TP1. So yeah, I really like this trade. Good average R on this one, and it just makes perfect sense. Now I can't really remember exactly what the entry was and everything like that, but I'll kind of walk you through what my thought process was here. So you see price coming down, hit the entry right there, beautiful, perfect. Now I don't think I actually, I never had blind orders here. I never had blind orders. I actually waited for confirmation. So the confirmation would then be bullish engulfing in the stochastic, um, and I do believe I entered on, let's see. Yeah, I actually entered on this candle right here. I believe I entered on somewhere here, right before that candle actually closed. I do believe I entered here, and stop loss down here creates a little bit of a different risk to reward, but still that's the trade, right? Because you have the breakout, and you have price hitting that level, the breakout area, and you now have a rounded bottom here on the 4-hour, stochastics are like bull cross, and that 4-hour candle closing above the 50% once again, right? So that's the trade. And then this happens, right? Price starts moving lower, right? And I see this, and I tell myself, you know what? The idea of this trade was, this was the bottom, right? This was the bottom. We were going to see an impulsive move to the upside here, where we're going to see, bullish momentum coming in. But then we have that 4-hour candle closing below, and I thought, you know what? This is not following my plan even remotely, right? So what I'm going to do is I'll exit, right? So right here is when I decided to exit, right on that yellow, that white line. Price started getting a little bit lower, and then this happened, right? Very slow, right? But still, it managed to hit that TP1 area, right? So what I would have done here now is I would have taken 25% profit at that TP1, and I would have my stops at entry, right? So basically free trade at this point, and then we just let it run. Now, the reason why, and I've done a lot of analysis on this trade to try to figure out, like, was it a good idea to be exiting? And the simple answer is, and this is something that I've gone through in my own head like quite a lot, because I do this mistake quite often in my own trading, and I'm pretty sure you guys have done the same mistake. So I do think that I'm very patient with my winners and impatient with my losers, right? Which you should be. When you see an idea not working out, you should exit that immediately and wait for it to be confirmed once again. This, however, never gave me a re-entry. But there comes a point where that impatience with the losers just becomes fear, right? There's a very fine line between being fearful of losing and being impatient, right? So what I mean is, if you exit because of fear, you're making a mistake. But if you're exiting because you know that when price does this particular pattern after entry, the probability of getting stopped out is quite high. However, I figured out that I exited this trade because of fear. So the exit is not, and most of the time after I enter a trade, most of the time, the best thing to do, because the best thing to do is to stay in the trade. Because what I've done is I've went through my journal, I've looked at all my trades where I did exit too early, where I exited the a losing trade too early, and I've seen that quite often price actually reverses right after my exit to the upside, and it becomes a winner. So I exit at a loss, and that trade then later becomes a winner. This is very, very normal in trading, right? And that is why you need to you shouldn't ignore your emotions, right? So a lot of people say don't trade on your emotions, right? But instead of going around and just saying, trade like a robot, don't trade like, trade on based on your emotions, what you should be doing is you should learn to identify your emotions, right? And then use that idea of being connected with your own emotions as a type of edge, right? Because if you do identify your own emotions successfully, and you know which emotions means what in trading, you can use those emotions to really create a more profitable strategy. So basically what I'm saying here is, when price were trading here and I start questioning the whole trade, I need to take a step back and ask myself, what type of emotional state am I in right now? If I'm completely calm and balanced and like in the zone and everything is feels right, I should exit, right? But if there's a little ounce of fear, if I start thinking in terms of how much money am I going to lose on this trade, um, you know, stuff like that. When I start thinking about the dollar value of the loss, or the percentage of the loss, or how many winners do I need to have to make this back, and when you start thinking about that, it's probably based on fear. And the best thing to do is just take a step back and do something else, because you should not be taking trading decisions based on fear, because fear was not in the equation when you entered the trade, right? You had no idea, like you didn't really plan on, right, let's enter here, and as soon as I feel fearful, I'm going to exit, right? That's not part of the plan, and it's crucial that you do follow the plan. So what could I have done differently here? Well, I think one of the most important things that I could have done differently here is set the orders and disappear. That's basically it. I entered this trade, it looks good, put some alerts in, and just do something else. Let the trade develop, and go out on a walk or whatever. Just ignore this trade until the alerts go off. Because I did have one alert down here, if I'm not mistaken. Let's say I have one alert down here and one alert at TP1. So if I just let this trade go, TP1 would have been hit, right? And that's when I would have gotten my alert. All right, let's do an actual market scan here. All right, so let's look at USDJPY. Wow, this is a good one. This looks really good. All right, so looking at the 4 hour, we have a pretty obvious level right here, right? So we have a pretty obvious level here on USDJPY, which is that one. So that would be my entry, right? Now let's look at the daily. Yeah, definitely this level. So now I think we're gonna use this fib. Kind of makes more sense, right? But then again, it's it might be a little bit. I mean, could I think a lot of people would use that low as well, and then it fits perfectly. So yeah, I'm probably gonna use this one for TPs, but that one is an entry trigger. So let's use that one on the chart. So the trade would be probably be like enter on a confirm bounce on the weekly open, and TP1 would be the 1, and stop loss somewhere below the 4-hour 50 EMA. The average R would be 2.6. Yeah, so I like that one. That would be the trade that I would be looking at. So I'm putting some alerts right here. I'm gonna type look for long entries on a confirmed bounce. Like that. Right. So I've heard like I'm not a follower of Crypto Banter or Sheldon Sniper or whatever. I don't really. I don't follow anyone. I'm just doing my own thing, so I don't really watch a lot of other YouTubers or other traders and anything like that, because I do find that for me it's just totally unnecessary, because I have my own system. I know it's profitable as well. But I've heard good, both a lot of a lot of good things and some pretty bad things about Crypto Banter, obviously, but a lot of good things. Sheldon Sniper, a lot of good things. You know what? I'll take a look and we'll see if like it's probably good. Like, I mean, trade, like if it's a profitable trader, yeah, sure, he's good. Every profitable trader is a good trader, you know. But the key is like there's a lot of big followers. I mean, big like Twitter and YouTube personalities. They have like a big following and a lot of fans. And I think when you become a fan of somebody, it's what I'm trying to say. It's very important that you develop your own system and try not to get influenced by what other traders do, say, or think, or the trades they take and stuff like that, because you can't follow anyone, right? That's why in you can't follow trading signals and expect to make money consistently long term. That's not how it works. The only way to make money in trading is to follow your own system and your own personality and your own your own path in trading. That's why in my live streams, I'm not really like I don't care about I'm not giving you setups. I'm not giving you like I'm not saying like buy here and sell here and stuff like that. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give you the tools necessary to start building your own system. So when I'm scanning the markets and I'm looking through my setups, I'm trying to show you how that setup was created, and more importantly, which setup was which system was used to find that setup, and then try to give you the tools. Obviously, it's very hard to do this in a live stream like this. I have for years mentored people in trading, and it's much easier to do it in the most structured way. But basically, what you should be doing is, if you're watching this USD JPY trade right here, and I say something like, right, so if price comes down and hits this breakout area, this support right here, I'm going to be buying when there's like confirmed bounce and everything aligns with the system. So what you should be doing is, if you want to take this trade, or if you're interested in taking a similar trade, now you have indicators on your chart, most likely, maybe Bollinger Bands, the MACD, RSI, whatever different EMAs that I have, right? And you should then look at what type of confluence would there be in this area according to the system that I'm trading. But then again, if you have a lot of indicators on your chart, but you don't have a system, you shouldn't even be trading. right? So what I want you to do is I want you to, if you don't have a system, you're watching this and you don't have a trading system, right? Um, you don't have a trading system, which most of you don't have. I know that because most of people, like, that's why 95% of people that try this, they fail miserably because they don't have a trading system, they don't have a plan, no structure, right? So if you don't have a system, look at this as a learning, like an educational example, right? And then use the indicators that you understand, the indicators that you like, and the indicators that you know. So maybe somebody watching this, that you really like the combination of using Bollinger Bands and the MACD, right? So if price if price comes down here, maybe it's gonna hit like the lower part of the Bollinger Bands, while the MACD gives some shows that some bullish momentum is coming in, right? Well, that's your idea. Now that might be an idea. Like the my point here is I'm using the moving averages, I'm using the fibs, I'm using the stochastic RSI, but this setup right here will probably be available with using other indicators as confluence as well. So if you don't like moving averages, if you don't think EMAs make sense, well, don't use them, right? Don't use them. I use them because they work for me, right? But if you rather want to use different indicators, put them on the chart and see if you can find confluence with this one right here. But at the very core of this idea, at the very core of this idea, guess what? It's like I can remove everything right here, right? Now, what is this really? Like, what are we looking at right here? Well, it's quite simple, right? Look at the daily. All this is a break and retest, right? All this is a break and retest, right? Which is, so probably like 95% of all trading systems out there is some type of system based on horizontal support and resistances, whether it be a trend following system or a range trading system. Most likely that system has incorporated some type of horizontal support and resistance, right? Which you can see right here. And if it's a trend following system, in my opinion, you all only really have two approaches: by the confirmed breakout or by the retest after the breakout. So that's two type of systems. You have a breakout system or a break and retest system. Most of you out there, I believe you're going to have an easier time trading a break and retest system, because what the break and retest system does is after the breakout, when there's a bounce, you can wait for a confirmed bounce. And basically, what's a confirmed bounce? Well, you have to come up with that yourself, right? What works and makes sense for you. But basically, is price hits this level and then it starts moving the other way. It's very simple. Price hits the level and then it starts moving the other way. Now you can use bullish engulfing, bullish pin bar, hammers, whatever, and have a use stochastic RSI like I do to find confluence. What I'm trying to say here is keep it very simple. Keep it very simple. So I'm pretty sure that whatever YouTuber you're watching, they're gonna have, this is gonna be some type of could become. This is an interesting question. Do you think that the 13K live viewers trading? I don't know, man. Probably, like, if there's 13,000 people taking the same trade with the same stop loss, yeah, there's probably like maybe like there's probably going to be some edge in getting that trade stopped out, and yeah, because obviously going to be a lot of liquidity down there. But I don't know. Like, I think it's interesting. I'm going to watch that one next time. Anyway, so develop a system, right? So you have this idea, you see this one right here, and you add whatever indicators you think make sense to this chart, and try to create a system around the examples that you find. All right. So I've just been talking for 40 minutes here. I'll go through this, do a complete scan here of the Forex market. So let's go to, I think, which one is it? Main? Yeah, this one is. All right. So we got AUD CAD. AUD CAD, we should be looking for shorts. What's on the 4 hour here? What's happening on the 1 hour? Yes, we should be looking for shorts here sometime in the near future. So I'm adding that to the orange list. So yeah, you're probably familiar with my market scanning routine already. Like, this is the list I'm looking at in the Forex market, and I have some cryptos here as well, and indices and commodities. And what I do is, like, the ones I think are interesting, I add to the orange list. And when the orange list is done, I'll go through the orange list and put them into 2 different categories. And I'll show you exactly how I do that in a minute. Right, so AUD CAD, orange list, AUD CHF. Basically, what I'm looking at is trends, just trends. If there's any possibility that a new trend is forming, or if the pair is in a trend, it goes to the green, to the orange list. AUD JPY, clearly a trend. AUD USD. I'm putting in alerts here, and I'm removing this from the orange list. CAD CHF. There's a lot of there's a lot of big moves happening, and there's a lot of quite clear trends being created here. This one, for example, we broke out what they said, broke out yesterday. Look at this, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Look at this range right here. Got a range right here, previous range up here, broke out, hit the lows of that range. Now the trade would obviously be a retest of the previous range highs, which is going to be something like this, right? Now we can add a fib here. So we'll add a fib from this whole area right here. Now, obviously, you'll see that the reload zone is quite much lower, right? But it's in perfect complement with the 0.618. So I really like the fact that the weekly open is complement with the 50, and the monthly open is complement with the 0.618. So yeah, I do like that we're probably going to see a move down to the weekly open, complement with the 50% level, and the trade would then, like that would be TP1. Now, of course, if it breaks up higher, we're going to make a new fib. Depends, like stop loss depends on where the bounce happens, but I like this, right? And then again, we have a high time frame level up here, which kind of agrees with the minus the reload zone. But so this is a good one, right? This is a good one. Euro GBP. Yeah, not sure about this one. I'll put an alert up here. Yeah, guys, I don't think, like, I don't see it as comparing. Like, I have huge respect for other, YouTubers and traders. I don't really, like, I'm not comparing myself to anyone. So it's not about comparing. It's just it's definitely supporting each other. I know the Crypto Banter and the Burbners have been supporting each other for quite some time. Euro JPY is added to the orange list. Euro entity. There's a lot of moves here. I like this. I do really like what's going on today. This is actually a possible short, but it's not perfect. All right. What else? GBP CHF. I'm actually removing this one. Well, there's obviously going to be some shorts to be looked for here. Removing that one. So as you can see here, I'm only trying to keep the most obvious ones are going to be on my list, right? The ones which are in the most obvious. USD looks very strong, right? Let's look at the dollar, DXY. The dollar looks very, very strong. So the daily. Let's see. USD JPY, silver ranging, gold's ranging as well. We have oil. Man, this trade kind of, it's a bummer. I found that oil is quite hard to trade, but there's something going on here, so I'm adding that one. Natural gas, this is a hard one. I'm removing that one. Euro 50, I don't know. gone. Interesting. Got the NASDAQ, something going on here. All right, that's it. So let's just do a quick, let's try to organize this list into number ones, which is pairs that are ready to be traded like today or in a couple of days. And then list number two, which is coins that are, or pairs that are not ready to be traded. There's no clear setup, but there might be at a later date, depending on where price goes. So everything's going to be moved down to the second list. Right, so let's start with CAD JPY. Do we have a trade? Do we have a trade here? Not really. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an indicator on the 4-hour 20 EMA. Four-hour 20 EMA. Next one is oil. There might be something here. So we're moving that to the first list. Okay, UK 100. Not ready. CHF JPY. I'm adding an alert on the 4-hour 20 on that one as well. US 100, nothing. US 30, nothing. S&P 500 is nothing. GBP USD, nope. USD JPY, yes, that's a 1. Euro USD, nothing. AUD JPY, that's also a 1. USD CHF is also 1. Gold, nothing. CAD CHF is perhaps a 1. GBP JPY is a 1. JPY pairs are so nice. The trending, just when they start to trend, is just a perfect. Not sure exactly what you mean with this, so if you could be more specific. Bitcoin, nothing. Ethereum is nothing. Well, Ethereum is in a more clear downtrend than Bitcoin. GBP NCD, nothing here. USD CAD. USD CAD is a 1. NCD USD is also in a 1. Silver is ranging. We got this is a 1. Got the DAX is perhaps a 1 actually, depending on how this 4-hour candle closes. AUD CHF is nothing. This is a 1. And this is also a 1. GBP AUD is not sure. GB CAD. Right, Euro CHF is a 1. So the reason why I do these market scans, and usually for the Forex market I do once or twice every week. The reason is because I now have my number one list. You can trade, if you want to trade all of these using crypto as collateral, you can trade it using Prime XBT, which is definitely a decent platform to be trading the Forex market using crypto. If you want a legacy broker, a normal one, I use Oanda for that. Where do I find the overview where you select them? Well, I guess I've done. I don't know, man. Like I've done it just now in the live stream. I just go through like this whole list right here, and the ones I like, I just add to the orange list, and then I go through the orange list and I categorize them. So the reason is because I want to find the the good looking ones, the best looking ones, and create a number one list. And this number one list, this is my focus during the week. This is like on a daily basis, a couple of times every day. This is where my next trade is going to be. That the second list here is I maybe look at once a day, to see if I can upgrade them to one. But it's really the first list that I just do a quick scan through on a daily basis to see if like is any level being retested, is do we have a trade coming in the next few hours or something like that. So I try to keep myself updated on this list a couple of times every day. And the good thing about trading, as a swing trading based on the 4 hour, is the fact that I can be patient because my trades are going to be based on the 4 hour closes, right? So if the level gets hit and there's 2 hours left for the 4 hour close, I have to wait 2 hours, right, before I can take a decision. So I do like the idea that I'm forcing myself to be patient while with waiting for the candle closes. This is a very interesting question, right? And I think so this is a very interesting question. Now the Ethereum versus you mean holding Ethereum versus holding Bitcoin, or are you talking about having a position on Ethereum, Bitcoin? You're probably talking about the difference between holding the two assets on spot market, and I would say you should have both, right? If I would be holding in a Bitcoin and in a crypto right now, which I'm not, because that for me it makes no sense to be holding an asset that's in a downtrend in the bear market. I would rather buy when there's confirmation. But if I would have a crypto portfolio today, I would probably have 50% in Bitcoin, 25% in Ethereum, and then 25% in select altcoins. So 50% Bitcoin, 25% Ethereum, and then 25% spread out amongst some of the strongest altcoins. That would probably be my portfolio for the next bull market. 50% Bitcoin, 50% Ethereum, and then perhaps take somewhere between 5 and 10 altcoins and split that last 25% up on that, and then hold it till the end of the next bull market. And I'm not going to do that until Bitcoin reclaims the daily 50 EMA. So until Bitcoin reclaims the daily 50 EMA, I'm not going to be buying any cryptos, right? All right, that's it for today. Do you guys have any last questions before I leave, before I end this webinar or this live stream? So basically, just a recap here is Bitcoin is in range. Bitcoin is in a major overall downtrend, and I'm not looking to buy Bitcoin, buy Ethereum, or buy any other altcoins until we have a confirmed break in market structure on Bitcoin. And I'm actively looking at the Forex market, and also, just a quick. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move oil down. Wait, there's always replay, right? You can always watch the replay. Just check out the replay if you missed it. Usually, just to recap, what am I looking at here? What am I looking for to take a trade? Well, it should be quite obvious. I'm a very simple trader. It's a break and retest, right? That's it. So, what price would you buy Bitcoin at? What price would you buy Bitcoin at? Well, it's all right. So it's not about what price, right? It's not about what price I'm going to buy Bitcoin at. It's the question is in what market structure am I buying Bitcoin, right? So there's all right. So there's two. I don't really have time to go through this right now, but there is I did a live stream a while back. I think it's called this is where I'm going to be buying the Bitcoin bottom or something like that. A couple of weeks back, when I looked at the high time frame perspective and where I would like to buy Bitcoin. But basically, there is a point where I would be willing to start buying Bitcoin in a downtrend, right? So there is a point where I'm willing to start buying Bitcoin in a downtrend, and that is, I'm not going to show you the indicators here, but Google MVRVC score and unrealized profit and loss, NUPL, for Bitcoin, and also check out that webinar I did, right? So when the MVRVC score enters the green area and the NUPL enters capitulation phase, that's when I will start looking at buys. So imagine if Bitcoin, and also, of course, the reload zone, right? Of course, the reload zone, which is the midpoint of the reload zone, is around 20K. So if the MVRVC score gives me buy signal with NUPL entering capitulation phase and Bitcoin trading down here around the reload zone, yeah, I'll kind of have to buy some spots, because historically it's the accuracy of that is just insane, especially in combination with the reload zone here. And then if we're going to start ranging here for a while, there's a high possibility that Bitcoin can easily reclaim the daily 50. So that would be my signal. Bitcoin coming down here, reclaim the daily 50 EMA with the on-chain metrics giving me buy signals. Yeah, I'll start buying Bitcoin spot, but that's closer to 20K. Could happen at 15 as well. Could happen at 25 as well. But probably somewhere around 20 is a good area for that to happen. Now, we don't, like, it might happen at 10 as well. But if we go lower than 15K, I think. Yeah, we're way below the reload zone, and I'm not really going to be interested in I'm not really going to be interested at that point. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you all for joining, and hope to see you all in the next one. All right, take care.